Chapter 1. Applying Single Responsibility Principle in TypeScript. This principle states that each class should have only one reason to change. For instance, take a look at this TypeScript code. Imagine a logger class, whose sole responsibility is to log messages. Then, there's a calculator class, which does all the calculations. Finally, a CalculatorWithLogging class combines these two functions, using the logger class to log messages. Chapter 2. Implementing open/closed principle in TypeScript. According to this, classes should be open for extension but closed for modification. Here's how that might look. Consider an interface, shape, with a method called area. Then, classes like circle and rectangle implement this interface, each with its own way of calculating the area. Chapter 3. Understanding Liskov substitution principle in TypeScript. This principle suggests that subtypes must be substitutable for their base types without altering the correctness of the program. Let's illustrate this with some TypeScript code. Think of a bird class with a method called fly. Sparrow, a subclass of bird, can fly just fine. But ostrich, another subclass, cannot. So, when an ostrich tries to fly, it logs unable to fly. Output. Chapter 4. Applying Interface Segregation Principle in TypeScript. This principle states that clients should not be forced to depend on interfaces they do not use. Here's an example. There are interfaces like can swim and can fly. A bird class implements can fly, and a fish class implements can swim. Thus, each class only implements the interfaces that are relevant to it. Chapter 5. Implementing Dependency Inversion Principle in TypeScript. This principle states that high-level modules should not depend on low-level modules, both should depend on abstractions. Abstractions should not depend on details, details should depend on abstractions. Here's how that looks in TypeScript. You have a logger interface, and a console.logger class that implements this interface. Then, there's a calculator class that depends on the logger interface, not the concrete console.logger class. Chapter 6. Conclusion. In conclusion, by adhering to these principles, you can write maintainable, scalable, and flexible TypeScript code. Each principle contributes to better code organization, reduced coupling, and increased code reuse. It's a win-win situation for everyone.